Ooh, I'm excited for this. Ooh, I'm excited for this.
Jackson. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first match of tonight, CASC versus OHVA. It is semifinals this week. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, your co-commentator?
I am Jackson. I was on the team last year, and this year I am commentating. I don't know where I was going with it.
Hey, it's okay. And I am Blaze. You guys know me from last week and from previous times. And we're going to be getting going here shortly. Yeah, that was not great English. Looks like Pro Draft is going to be reset as the opposing team was not looking, apparently. And that's okay. So in just a moment, we will have that back up. In the meantime, the Zinzao ban. That is very expected. This just in, I have learned that it is. So the official name would be Cyber Academy of South Carolina versus the Ohio Virtual Academy. Oh, yes. I do need to stream it for you too. Haha. Oh, I also am still on the intermission stream. That's fine. There's no reason. I am well put together now, guys. Can't you tell?
One of those days.
It really is. Alright, you guys should be
We
able
all
to
have
see
them.
that on Discord.
Yep.
Okay, there's... Alright. I'm just going to keep us on intermission for now because there's literally no point changing it because nothing is happening. New link. Thank you. Let's see, what did I miss? Hopefully not much. But nonetheless, we have to wait for spectator delay anyway, so if I miss it, it's fine. Oh, there we go. This isn't a spectator link, but nonetheless. Okay, let me take this off of our intermission screen. And here we go. Alright, now you guys should be able to see. So far, bans from OHVA, we've got the Zinzao and Nautilus. I must say, Zinzao was very expected because they have struggled with Zinzao in the past, and uh, this team plays a lot of Zinzao, so that's an issue. And then you got the Caitlyn set Cassidin standard bans to counter mains on the enemy team, although the Cassidin is not being played in the mid lane. The person who would be playing that is currently on the jungle role, so... But the enemy don't know that, of course. Alright, we got the Blitzcrank pick coming out for CASC right off the bat. It's a good first pick. Hard to counter. If you're not careful, he can pull you in and kind of get that bot lane going very, very early.
Yeah.
Champion with a lot of level 1 pressure. Into a Jinx Lux, though. Also a lot of, counter damage poke. Yeah. And, Lux, neither of them are that mobile, so it can be kind of an issue, but Lux is good at poking from afar, and if she were to get pulled, all she has to do is hit that Q.
Well, if that's luck support, that is.
True, true. It is not guaranteed, but I highly suspect it will be.
The Zaya for the CASC bot lane.
Yeah, it seems like neither of the teams are messing around, getting both of the bot lanes figured out immediately. Zaya's a very good champion. She's difficult, but if you can really keep track of where her feathers land and how to use those appropriately, she can do a lot of damage. We're gonna see 2 marksmen coming out for CASC though. Action most likely in the mid lane.
Akshan is very fun to play. Definitely helps surviving teammates, making sure if they do make a mistake, it can be made up easily.
Yeah, he is a champion that definitely works well with snowballing teams, and if they're going to try and snowball, Action is going to enable them even harder. He's got great roaming potential with his W and his E, being able to swing around the map. And, well, revives are always good. Got a Pantheon pick. I think That's a mid pick.
I believe so as well. That would mean that Deluxe is in fact going support.
Yeah, that's about what I expected too. OHVA is well known for picking or banning Lux. Not that I blame them.
Ban's finished out, making sure jungle can't get that Amumu.
Yep, that targeted Garen ban towards the top lane has not really seen much play yet in the esports scene for OHVA here, but it never hurts to ban it out because he's a quite strong champion right now. And Amumu is always pretty scary. Got a few seconds to pick. It's going to be Wukong. That makes sense. Last week it worked very well for them, the Wukong. Able to do a lot of work for their team, especially, you know, if we look at the last game they played last week into that Skarner pick. The Wukong is really good with that Cyclone and the Engage. Lots of AoE CC.
And looks like this might be a Gwen pick for the CASC, excuse me, top lane.
Yeah, it looks like so far CASC is missing a bit of a tankier pick outside of Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank's not great at being a tank though. You know, Gwen will get tanky, but she's still quite squishy. Although OHVA doesn't really have a dignified tank either, but I based on the fact that top lane is left, I assume that's going to be the top pick.
Now I've got Lee Sin for the jungle and finishing off CASC's team. I'm going to mess that up a lot. I apologize.
That's okay. Yep, there's the Malphite. Just what I thought. You know, we saw Malphite last week. This is a pretty similar composition to what we were seeing last week with them. You know, Deluxe, Wukong, Malphite, all proven and solid picks. So it's really going to come down to if they can play it the same. You know, at least CASC is a very snowbally team. They've picked snowbally champions. So if they get ahead early, they're going to be able to close out those games quick. So OHVA has got to work on their early game and really crack down on that.
One thing I am worried about is OHVA's top lane matchup. Because that Gwen is going to snip through a lot of that armor, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, Gwen is going to destroy Malphite early. They say rock beats scissors, but not in this case. You know, so Gwen is going to rush in, do her damage, and back out. It's not like Malphite can't really do anything to her.
CASC definitely has a lot of squishies that Pantheon in particular is going to be able to just crack down on if he can get a hold of them.
Yeah, they do have the Pantheon and the Wukong. So I assume all in all that'll work pretty well together. Pantheon though does fall off a bit late, not as hard as he used to when he was just reworked. So it's really going to lean on the OHVA's mid laner to get those early picks and then transfer those into things late game. You know, he's going to be able to his E will be able to take those Blitzcrank hooks and turn that into an engage for his team, or stop an action or a Lee Sin dead in their tracks when they go to engage. So it's quite interesting. But it looks like we're heading to Champion Select, so I'm gonna go ahead and close this and never mind. I'm just kidding. We're not. We did lose Tyler Yeats a lot here. But I'm sure they'll be back. Until then, let me send this to our intermission screen. Possible bit of technical difficulties here. Like I always say, it would not be a night of esports without it. So we're just gonna work through it. Sorry for the folks watching from home. In just a few more minutes here, and we'll be into the real champion select. Alright, now we're actually heading into champion select. So, you guys already know what's going to be picked, but we can still talk more about it anyway. We're going to see the pretty standard bans coming out, what they already banned. I will say that, you know, OHVA struggles with the early game. You know, we've seen that consistently over their past games and throughout the season. So going against a Snowball Elite team is quite scary for them. You know, last week they definitely, you know, we saw in the first game they struggled early game. The Jinx got ahead and steamrolled through them. But the second two games, they definitely pulled it back and had a lot more control over that. So I have confidence that they will be able to hold this, but they do need to play very carefully around those more aggressive picks like the Akshan and the Lee Sin. Although Akshan into Pantheon, that'll be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, I'm curious because as soon as the Akshan goes in, I can just already picture the Pantheon W going in and just an Akshan dying. However, so long as the Akshan continues to poke with his Q, that should let him get at least a little ahead.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Pantheon has the one up in this lane. You know, Akshan swings in. All Pantheon has to do is, you know, W onto him to stop him. But Akshan does have that range, which in every lane, if you're going against a melee champion, that's going to give you the advantage.
I guess Pantheon does have his Q, but that takes quite a bit of mana to use repeatedly.
Yeah, I do often find that his Q is better in like up close confrontations. Like it does a bit of poke damage from range, but it really does that massive damage when you're up in their face and stabbing them with it. I think Pantheon definitely is lucky to have his E, you know, being able to block projectiles and reduce that damage. That's going to help keep him alive early.
Hell, it might even help mitigate some of the poke.
Right, yeah, definitely.
all
I
of it.
mean, you know, destroying the boomerang from Akshan's Q is going to be important. They don't have they don't have as much CC, you know, CASC coming out onto OHVA comparatively. You know, Jinx has good lockdown. Pantheon Lux are great for single target lockdown. Malphite is great for AoE as well as Wukong. The issue is, you know, getting in a little close can be probably difficult, but the good news is CASC doesn't have as much. You know, you got Lee Sin Kick, Xayah E, Blitz Kit, and that's about it. I mean, not a lot. So
Gwen's Shroud is going to be very useful here, that's for sure.
yeah, definitely the poke from the Lux and the Jinx is going to be very good for that. But, you know, the Pantheon pick is going to be good into the Gwen because Gwen struggles when she gets really up front and close with people, especially early game. Especially those that could fight back against her. So, Pantheon jumping in on her Shroud, you know, she can't really do anything about that.
Yeah. Maybe seeing an early gank top might help mitigate this.
I definitely agree. Top is going to be a pretty decent lane to push. You got the Malphite slow, and Wukong is pretty good with early ganks, so it could work really well. But, alright. We are now going to be waiting for the spectator delay, so I'm going to pop us back to the intermission screen and play a bit of music for us to hopefully, you know, speed it up a little bit, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Alright, not to cut off the pentakill jam there, but we do have a game going on here. And we didn't have the spectator bug. So, going on to a pretty good start, I guess. So, here we are. We got OHVA versus CASC. Semi-final game 1. Now, root for your team. Don't be afraid to show it. And we will see how this game goes. For either team, whoever loses, it's a best of 3, so there's still plenty of chances, and no need to get discouraged. Yes, there we go. Alright, pretty standard setups here, waiting in case of any invades. I have not talked that much today, guys. I will be stumbling over my words for this first game. But that's okay. Looks like there's not going to be any invades. I'm a little surprised because there is that Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank's a very good invader, but I also understand that they do have a Pantheon and a Lux coming out from OHVA, so it can be a pretty scary thing to invade into if they're not careful. But neither team went for a deep ward. Understandable. We're going to see bot side jungle starts from both junglers. Malphite maybe faking out a leash a little bit in the top lane, seeing if Lee Sin is paying extra close attention to that. Maybe he'll try to invade bot side only to find nothing. Now, the lanes to watch are definitely going to be the mid lane and the bot lane here. As I was talking about earlier, Pantheon's going to take a lot of poke, especially level 1. Action with that 3-hit passive is going to make it very easy for him to poke, 2 autos and, a huge chunk of damage is going to be following. We're going to see OHVA take a back. I don't know what I'm trying to say. They're going to be a little farther back than CASC's bot lane because the Blitzcrank is creating a lot of room and pressure for his ADC, especially when, if he were to take his W level 2, he could rush up in front of minions with that movement speed boost and pull them towards him. But I'm assuming he took E because that is usually what you go, and yes, he did. Do see the Lee Sin in the top side here. Going for an early gank top lane. Lee Sin coming in for the counter gank. If OHVA is not careful, this could end poorly. Lee Sin hitting the Q and going in on it. We do see a fight here in the mid lane. 1-for-1. First blood going out to OHVA's, or not OHVA, sorry, CASC. So that extra 400 gold is going to be going over to their side. But either way, still very good for both mid laners to get a kill there, and very good for OHVA to return that kill. That way they're not too far behind on that extra gold lead. The gank top lane didn't surmount to too much other than a few summoner spells being used. And by a few, I mean just a flash, it looks like. But it looks like Lee Sin's overextending a little bit here and is punished for it. A very nice play from OHVA. A little close there for the Wukong, but it ends up working out. Let me rearrange the leaderboard so it's a little easier to look at. I did that really poorly. There we go. We do see a lot of summoner spells available for pretty much most lanes now. Top lane's a little dry up. The Wukong and the Malphite are still swapped. This is a good Q from the Lux, but bot lane is pretty low on mana, so they're probably going to be looking to back here soon. Malphite also pretty low on mana, so he could usually keep up with Gwen, throw a Q at her and able to run away if she decides to go in, but without that mana, he's not going to be able to. Oh, Blitzcrank hitting a very nice Q through the minions. Jinx is in a rough spot, but Xayah does not set up the feathers quick enough to get that massive damage stun in, so Jinx is able to just flash, not even flash, just walk away. And outside of Ignite used, neither side lost too much. Bit of a close call there. Do see Pantheon pushing up the Action in the mid lane. It's about what I expected. Action playing a little passive, probably making some room for his jungler to come in and gank, but Pantheon's warded out really well in the bot side river, so Lee Sin is going to have a rough time doing that. See some poke coming out from the Pantheon with his Q. But as I said earlier, not a lot of damage comes out from that. It is strictly just for farming and a minor amount of poke. See Wukong walking right into the Lee Sin, doing a lot of damage. Wukong is a very strong early game brawler, and that was a bit surprising, I will say. You know, to explain what you saw there, if an auto is in effect as a character is to flash away from it, the auto will still hit. In addition to that, we see Wukong's Q being used, which is an auto reset and extends the range of his auto. Doing those two things allowed him to get that kill over a massive flash over the red buff. Really unfortunate for the Lee Sin there. We did see a fight come out in the mid lane that I kind of talked over. Wasn't anything too special. Akshan got a little over aggressive there and almost got himself killed, but he was able to just kind of walk away, because once Pantheon uses his abilities, he's kind of dead in the water for a couple seconds till it comes back up. See Malphite pushing up the lane a lot. You probably would serve better from freezing it. You know, freezing a wave is when you only kill the minions that are just about to die from about one auto. And what that does is it denies the enemy laner farm. He's going to get really aggressive pushing up on this Gwen. A little too aggressive. Going to take a tower shot. Interesting play, to say the least. I see what he was going for, but he was way too slow on the decision making, and it ended up stopping him from being able to go in there. If he had just walked up with her as she was leaving turret, he probably could have gotten that off. I don't know if that would have killed her, however, though, as she does have her ult, which heals her, and her Pantheon's going to go in on this action. Action does have E. He's going to opt to W away instead. He does E back in now that Lee Sin's here. Pantheon's in a rough spot. Pantheon's going to go down because of it. A little over aggressive there, without any vision on that Lee Sin. Got to be a little more careful of that. You know, we get the control ward in that bush, but it seems it didn't spot the Lee Sin. They're going to go for a dragon off that play. Bit of a rough death there coming out of mid lane, getting CASC a lot of map pressure because of it. Do see Pantheon coming back in right away. Action's going to walk right into the Wukong. He's going to WA, but the Wukong has him anyway. That was a good trade there. Gwen missing the full charged Q onto Malphite. Malphite just walking away with only his passive popped. Huge wave crashing in him. Gwen going to get that very easy control ward that I think was, if I'm correct, just placed down my Malphite. Wukong going in on this Lee Sin. He's got level 6. Cyclone up, getting both charges of it on the Lee Sin. It does a lot of damage. Lee Sin's got nothing to Q away to. And this Wukong is 4-0. Very aggressive and very ahead. The invades have been very nice, and shutting down that Lee Sin early is great. Looks like a potential dive here in the bot lane. Can be a little risky. Xayah does have her ult, which makes her immune for a short period of time. Well, not immune, untargetable. She jumps above everyone. Gwen's going to go for an aggressive play onto the Malphite. Definitely think this is the right play. She does miss quite a few abilities, however, and she's unable to finish off the kill. Very good Q onto the Xayah. Good E follow-up to do damage. From the Lux. Blitzcrank pushing up. Doesn't commit, though. I think he probably got a little scared of maybe the jungler being down there, because if he had continued to push up with there only being like 2 red minions there, would have been able to potentially land a hook on that Jinx. Malphite gonna try for a fight on the Gwen. Able to get away with that speed boost, but we're gonna see a scuffle here in the bot lane river. Lee Sin hitting a Q. He's got kick, a good flash away, but Malphite does take a fight against Gwen in his turret range and loses it. So, great snipe coming out from the Pantheon. It seems I am being proven wrong on the utility of that ability. But he is in a bit of a rough spot. Akshan, you know, has his passive mark on him. That's what you see above his name. So if Akshan activates his W, he'll know where the Pantheon is at all times. I don't want to see that boring stuff. Looks like he's going to try to execute. This is definitely the right play. Akshan is not going to let him do it easily, and he does it. That was the very good play from Pantheon. Not allowing an early revive either. OHVA making a couple mistakes here and there, but overall still very good grasp on this game, and they need to keep that going. It's not a huge gold lead right now, but enough to make a small difference right now. Lots of damage coming out, but Jinx is in kind of a risky range in terms of mana and HP. A little afraid to get closer. Malphite being really aggressive again. If Gwen has her ult, she might get a kill here. She cancels multiple autos though, very rough spot. Last cast of ult. Malphite's pretty much down for the count on that one, but it looks like Jinx is probably going to be dead here. Oh, she flashes, Lee Sin missing the Q, still is killed here though. Lots more utility used for it than probably needed to be, but however, it is very important to get those kills early. That kind of almost exactly evens up this game in terms of gold. It seems like CASC is just barely ahead, but not a large enough amount to make a difference. Just kind of chilling with this game state. We see the OHVA bot lane roaming back. Jinx and Lux taking their sweet old time. Don't have a lot of movement abilities to make it any quicker. Pantheon might try for something a little aggressive here. Hops over the wall, gets a good amount of damage out on Action, but Action's not afraid to return it. Most of that damage going out. Very good flash ult from Lee Sin, allowing the Pantheon to be picked off. This Lee Sin knows what he's doing. Even with his early game mistakes, he is still in this game. Very good kill from CASC. They have now taken the lead and evened out this game. More so taking the lead, if anything. We almost see a 1k gold lead here, which is minor, but in the early game it matters a lot. Lots of damage coming out from the Wukong, but Action not low enough to get executed by it yet. See that Gwen Shroud coming out, just in case Malphite throws a Q, but he cancels it. Lee Sin coming back for more in the mid lane. Wukong going in, but Lee Sin has that free escape away. Oh, I completely missed a Rift Herald being taken from OHVA. Very good use of it in the mid lane, getting a lot of that gold back for them. Looks like they were going to get 3 tower plates here, and potentially 4. At least Action's backing, and Lee Sin's going to be the only one able to defend. Shelly is going to die, though, so it's just up to 2 champions to wail on a tower. Gwen using her ult again, being very aggressive. This is basically what you're going to do on Gwen. Malphite is a very hard champion to lock down because of that slow and speed boost he gets from his Q. And if Gwen doesn't get her resets properly, it's going to suck to catch up. Bot lane getting a little aggressive with the Blitz and doing a lot of damage onto that Xayah. Not afraid to fight him. Don't know if that was a blind Q or not, but if that was a fairly lucky one. Stopping that Pantheon back. We see teleports have now upgraded into what I like to call prestige teleport. Now they can teleport to any ally, objective, minion, whatever on the map, making rotations a lot better. Blitzcrank hitting a nice Q onto the Lux, and there's no way she lives through that. That's going to probably lead into a second dragon coming out for CASC. They are starting to have a hold on this early game, and they're going to start running away with it as we approach into mid-game. This is what I was talking about in Champion Select, with the Blitzcrank being very aggressive into an immobile bot lane. Jinx and Lux having pretty much no mobility outside of Jinx passive, which requires her to get a kill or an assist on something for it to even activate. And, Blitzcrank is just going to roll over that. That's his specialty, dealing with champions that do that. Gwen going to get behind the Malphite. Doesn't look like he noticed, but I don't think he's too afraid of her. She's willing to take the fight. She dodges the ult, and the regen is a lot, keeping her alive. Malphite opting not to chase her. She does walk across the wards, so they know where she's at. Pantheon ulting up, but not able to get there quick enough. If he hits a Q, it could be a death, but he's not going to even throw it. Not going to waste the passive charges on it. Wukong is there. Did lose sight of Gwen. He's going to see her and chase her, but he might be just too far away to get her. Akshan following behind Pantheon here. Gonna see a little fight in the top river, it looks like. They don't have vision on Lee, but it looks like he is not going to respond to this, as Akshan is able to get away quite easily. They do now have sight on the Lee Sin. Double Cyclone, probably going to lock him down here. Good flash, ult out. Wukong hitting another nice Cyclone, canceling the ult, getting a kill onto the Lee Sin, possibly a second kill. Pantheon missing the W. Flash over the wall, accidentally Wing a minion, does lose them that kill. Jinx almost hits that rocket on the Akshan, but overall still very good for OHVA there, helping even out the game a little bit. They get a turret in the mid lane. That is first turret to go down. That's a big swing back for OHVA. Now gold lead is slightly in their favor. This is a very back and forth game. You know, I would probably give CASC the advantage here just purely on the basis of objective pressure and map pressure, but that does not mean by any stretch of the imagination that OHVA is out of this. That invade top lane was very good for bringing this game back, and they need to do more maneuvers like that. Well, looks like we're going to see a potential early Rift Herald aggression. Pantheon walking straight up into it, not knowing the Lee Sin is there. Lee Sin on his own until the Akshan swings in. It is a 3v3 here with Gwen flanking them, but they do have a pretty strong fight coming out from OHVA. Gwen walking back to her lane, so we're not going to see too much of this fight, but look like they might still go for that Rift Herald. We do indeed see a Rift Herald, and I don't know if, yeah, it looks like CASC, my apologies, aren't going to even contest it. Lee Sin actually going down for the bot lane, trying to trade a kill maybe for this Rift Herald. Blitzcrank missing that Q, probably going to stop any chances of getting a kill. Looks like a very good objective coming out from OHVA. That's strange. There is no sound effect for them taking it. Usually when you're not watching through spectators and you're playing, there's a large sound effect for when that objective is taken, but that's probably why I didn't notice it the first time. Pantheon in a bit of a rough spot, but Akshan's ult could be blocked by a turret. Shelly's going to guarantee a second turret for OHVA in the top lane. Very good turret pressure across the map. Pull onto the Lux. It's going to be a guaranteed kill on the Lux. Probably a bit of a wasted flash, but that kill was traded out for another kill in the top lane, and it looks like Shelly's going to get a second hit on that tier 2 and probably kill that tier 2 now too. It might be... It's definitely going to be traded out across the map, but OHVA is still going to have the upper hand on this one, as they got 2 turrets and a kill, as well as CASC here. But the lead for OHVA comes from the fact that they already had a turret. But it looks like CASC isn't going to get that turret anyway. So I'm just lying to you guys, and I apologize. Third dragon is up. It looks like OHVA is ready to contest it this time. Getting them on to that soul point could be very bad for the rest of this game. They have to contest this dragon. Ocean Soul is not one to mess around with either. Lee Sin gonna start it. Blitz being very aggressive onto the Jinx, pulls it. She manages to get away though. Pantheon able to get aggressive onto the Xayah, forcing the Xayah to ult. She's probably going to return those feathers. She does stun the Wukong. I don't know if OHVA realizes that Lee Sin is on Dragon because they are not contesting it. Malphite gonna walk up and spot it though. CASC is in a rough spot, and it looks like the Dragon's gonna go over to OHVA. No contest. Very well played by them. You know, Xayah being really over-aggressive, thinking that she has that fallback with her ult, and usually it works. Not with Pantheon and Wukong, however. They are very good at sticking onto their target. Just like that, OHVA is starting to pull ahead more and more. Let's see if they can keep this up. We're about in the mid-game now, so the early game window of either team getting ahead is kind of passed. It is a bit even in terms of damage output. It just depends on who gets the drop on who first. Let's look at our farm difference here. Looks like bot lane, pretty much even. Mid lane, a little bit ahead from CASC's side, but that's about expected. We got a little bit of a head from the Wukong in the jungle, and overall, most lanes are pretty even. Jinx missing that W onto the Xayah. They're going to use both of their ults on her, and they do hit, but she is forced to heal in order to save her life. And the turret, for that matter. But 2 ults, I think, is definitely worth a summoner spell, as both of those ults have a pretty short cooldown, especially Lux. If you look over in the little bubble next to Lux's name, we can see that her ult is halfway up already. The cooldown is very short. And it's not even level 2 yet. Blitzcrank getting aggressive. He's going to be spotted on a ward. Bot lane waiting by the turret. Smart. Waiting for their minions to come back. Xayah almost full health. Never mind. Blitzcrank missing a Q on the Jinx. Xayah's in another rough spot. Might be forced to back here. Lee Sin gonna find a Q on a target, but it's not the target he wants. A giant walking rock is not usually my target for Lee Sin either. Malphite, bit of a rough spot. Kind of collapsed on here. Needs to use the ult to get out, and he does. Wukong gonna attempt to fight the Gwen here. This one could be closer than he might have anticipated. Gwen has a lot of healing. And, you know, Wukong's damage output is good, but usually better on squishier targets. And as we see, Gwen did win the trade. She's starting to scale. She has her Riftmaker now, and she has plated steel caps. That's what they're called. Old school League players like me call them Ninja Tabbies still. But yeah, so she's in a tankier spot, has a lot more lifesteal, and she is a threat at this point. Looks like they're going to collapse on her again. We do see her manage to slip away, but Pantheon's very aggressive, got that Eclipse. Lee Sin coming back up. We do see some aggression here in the bot lane. Blitzcrank just going to walk away. It seems like a lot of the fights are just whoever gets caught out walking away, and you know that goes for both sides, so I guess it's better than just dying instantly. Good ward removal coming out from red side and blue side now, spotting 3 wards. Let's take a look at what each team is looking at here. Blue side lacking on pretty much all vision, a little bit in the river and a little bit in the bot lane, but not enough to make a huge difference on this game. Let's see what we're looking at for red side. Red side in a similar boat, except they do have control in those river bushes, helping a lot. But we're going to see a fight here anyway, and let's get back to all of it. Jinx hitting a great rocket from across the map, finishing off that kill. Double kill coming out for OHVA with not too many resources used. Do see Pantheon getting a little bit close to dying to a tower shot, but he does live. We might see an inhibitor turret going down here as bot lane is responding very slowly. Blitzcrank just now backing, and Gwen not even bothering to back at all. Never mind. Yeah. Could probably get an inhib, but they're going to opt for the safer pick. They do have Dragon coming up in Not a lot of time. I don't know the exact time. I don't think I can turn that on still. I'm not entirely sure why, but nonetheless. I don't know if it's in here or what it is, but I'm not going to keep that up for too long. Some aggressive on Wukong. He's going to... Oh, that was the clone. Ah, man, he had me confused. I thought that was the real Wukong. Never mind. Well played. Looks like they're going to sit and wait for Dragon. They're not going to start it yet. The smart play here is they don't want to start it and then get caught out like CASC did last time. They're going to clear some vision. It is a 5v5. They're going to probably give the Gwen the turret in top lane. Now they're going to start the Dragon. It is a 4v4 most, or a 4v5 most likely. And OHVA is going to trade this Dragon for that top turret. No doubt about that. No contest either. So OHVA didn't even really lose anything. And Gwen just now takes the turret. So she's not even going to be able to get a second turret. OHVA definitely playing this late game very well. And, you know, if they can keep this pressure up, they're going to be working towards very strong pushes, especially with Baron on the line now as it is spawned. And, you know, one bad team fight from either team could result in a Baron being taken. So it's risky. Looks like they're going to try to push for an inhib here. A little risky as a lot of their peel is gone with Wukong and Pantheon being in the side lanes, which is good. Needs to respond to the enemy laners, and they're just going to opt to back off in the mid lane. Pantheon being aggressive onto the Gwen. Gwen using a lot of her healing, but Pantheon's shield absorbs all of the damage. He absolutely took no damage. I believe that was a ooh, good snipe from the Lux there. But I believe that was a empowered Pantheon shield, reducing the damage even farther.
Hello, I apologize for the delay.
Ah, yes, you never left. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yes, of course, I was always here.
Welcome back. It seems like we've got a pretty good game going here. A little in the favor of OHVA, but overall mostly even. Well, I shouldn't say mostly even. It is definitely in the favor of OHVA here. In terms of gold lead, it is even, or almost even.
Yes, I've been keeping tabs on the game, and it seems like they were going neck and neck, and then OHVA started to reach the late game.
Yeah, they've been playing it very well. They, you know, that third dragon fight for that first Ocean Drake was a very good turn for them. Not only did they get that, but they got some kills, and some turrets off of it. So huge value there. They're gonna opt to push mid lane here. Maybe not the right play. You know, they're greeding a little bit for that inhibitor, and you know, if bot lane doesn't back here, they probably could get it. But if they're not careful, you know, it could be rough. We do see Lee Sin just sitting in their base, though. Seems like he was waiting for a Bramble Vest, but that was not the right play. They're going to lose an inhibitor to it now, guaranteed.
Looks like this Blitzcrank is going to keep on pushing.
Yep.
Oh, things happening on the top side. Gwen falling.
Going to get that, and CSC making some pretty big misplays there. Not only losing a kill in the top lane, but losing an inhib, not even contesting it other than Akshan. And this is enough pressure to go for a Baron here. You know, I don't think they have vision on the Blitz there, but Blitz is not seen and
not moving either.
Yep, he's staying by the turret. I don't understand why, but I'm not in the game, so I don't know. He's pushing. Blitz is not a split pusher. Looks like Lee's gonna.
A man can dream.
A man can dream. I don't know if the semifinals is the time to do it, however. Wukong going to get very aggressive, but that single target lockdown from OHVA is nothing to scoff at. And, you know, they put up as much of a fight as they could, but Xayah's running away, using her ult to do damage rather than get away. And this might be the game end here.
Blitzcrank still desperately trying to push.
I'm not sure what Blitzcrank is doing here, if I'm perfectly honest.
Does not hit him. And so the lockdown begins again.
Yeah, it looks like we're probably going to be seeing the game end here. We got super minion, or Baron empowered super minions, and they've got a lot of damage pushing out onto these turrets, and they have stall too. I mean, CASC just cannot come back from this, and this is going to be game one going to OHVA.
Yep.
Very well played from both teams, but OHVA pulled it out in the end. And with that, we are going to go to intermission, and we will see you guys at the start of draft for game 2. Enjoy the petakill. I know I will. All right, and we are back, everybody, with the second pro draft. Let's get into this. You can unmute Jackson. Whilst you're busy. I know, but the vibes, nah, it's fine. All right, let's talk about the champions select. So, as expected from CASC, a Wukong ban, very quick on that. I'm not surprised at all, because Wukong was very rough for them to go into. They are hovering the Cassidon. It wasn't picked. This is interesting. Cassidon has been kind of a funny joke throughout the season. Teams like to ban it, but usually the person playing Cassidon is not. But this time it is first picked, which is very funny. Looks like we might see a swap between the mid and the jungle here, and this could be interesting. This just in, it looks like yes, that will be going mid lane. Looks like I think that's the same bans coming out from OHVA for the same reason, pretty much. Xin Zhao is a big issue for them to deal with, so it makes sense. We do see a Pike. This is an interesting shift from the Blitzcrank from last game. I would honestly say the Blitzcrank is the better pick, but Pike can be a lot more aggressive. They're going to take the Jinx rather than let it go over.
Pike Jinx can be a very dangerous lane if you're not careful.
Yes.
Between the Pike's hook and CC and the Jinx damage output, you need to watch your footing.
Yep, but the Jinx is not very, Jinx isn't great at closing gaps, so the Pike has to do a lot of the work for her, and if she's not in the right spot at the right time, it's going to be rough. Especially now with an Ashe. But also another very immobile bot laner. We're going to see the Ashe Lux again. Or no, not again, but we're going to see a similar bot lane to last with the Lux being picked. Makes sense. Lux is very good. Always good.
That Pike ult is going to be deadly, though.
Yes. This is so far pretty squishy team. You know, Cassidon is going to get a lot of HP, but he doesn't really ever get tanky per se. Diana coming out, that could be a mid or a jungle pick. We'll see. I would bet jungle. I'm going to see 2 more bans coming out from CASC. They're probably going to ban top and jungle more. There goes the Hecarim pick. Oh, never mind. Volibear. Interesting. I don't think we've seen a lot of gameplay of Volibear from OHVA this season.
Volley is quite strong now, though, based on what I've heard.
Yeah, he's usually in a good spot, so it's not really a bad ban. We do see Akshan being banned. Makes sense. He was one of the issues of the opposing team from last game. But they did have really good lockdown on him. So it depends. We're most likely not going to be seeing the Pantheon pick this game, as mid lane is Cassidon.
And the Garen is gone yet again.
Hey, better to be safe than sorry, am I right?
That is true. Has not seen much play over the season, and is certainly not going to this game.
Yep, which is a shame. I may not like Garen very much, but I do recognize his worth in team comps at the moment, especially when he's quite strong in, I guess, the meta, if you even want to call it that anymore.
I have not been keeping track of Garen. He's kind of fallen off my radar as of late. Yasuo.
It's fine. He's not a very interesting champion to watch. But nonetheless, we do see a Yasuo coming out from the mid lane. That could create some issues. Yasuo's pretty good champion at all stages of the game. And into a Cassidon, no less. So Yasuo could have kind of a field day with that early game. We do see a Nocturne pick coming out in the jungle. Interesting choice. I don't hate it. I like it, but very interesting choice. Not a choice you see very often.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the jungler has played Nocturne before or not.
I believe he has. I think he has. It's just not usually my go-to, and that's just mostly because I'm not very experienced in jungle and in Nocturne, so I cannot speak to it. But this time around, it looks like we have not really 2 tanky teams coming up from either end. Looks like we can switch to the client now. Nope, that's just a blank screen. There we go. Client.
Assassins are going to be having a field day with this one.
Yeah, Pike is going to have a good time. It's neither team has a lot of tanks. You got the Trundle and the Cassidon being the tankiest options, and neither are main tanks. So it's going to be. This is another early game. It's whoever can get an advantage is going to get ahead. And I mean, you could say that about any game, but there are definitely team comps that are made to, like, even if they lose the early advantage, come back. But neither of these teams are those.
Mm-hmm. As far as the bot lane, the Pike Jinx is going to have to try and get an early advantage, as Pike usually does. As far as OHVA, they're going to have to be careful and stay on their toes, try and outscale them. So not much early game winning there unless it goes to CAC. Was it?
Wait, what?
I
Oh,
apologize.
CASC. Sorry.
Thank you. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I was looking at something else. I was distracted. But yeah, I think it's probably probably gonna see a similar we're probably gonna see a similar strategy and bot lane as we saw last game where it's gonna be back and forth a lot, and there's probably gonna be kills that come out for both sides, being supports being very aggressive and able to put that pressure in. But I don't think we're going to see like a massively scaling bot lane from either team, as both last game played fairly passive, and I think we'll continue to see that even with a Pike. There's not a lot of differences between Pike and Blitzcrank, other than like if we're talking like abilities, there's not a huge difference in terms of what they bring to the table. But in playstyles, yes.
I was going to say, I will beg to differ on that one because Pike does offer a lot more damage output than Blitz, whereas
Oh
Blitz
yeah,
focuses more on CC.
but in terms of what they bring to the team,
Right.
it's the same thing. It's a pull into a secondary CC into an AoE ultimate. It's most Pike probably is better with single target lockdown than um, Blitzcrank is, and I would say that is a huge takeaway from this season and other seasons in general. The league is all about single target lockdown right now. You find that carry or someone who's overstepped, and you use your CC on them. You kill them because as soon as you have that numbers advantage, you win fights.
Considering looks different than I remember. Did he get a visual release?
No, he got a new splash art. They didn't
Okay.
change anything else though, which is fine. He doesn't really need it. The only other lane we haven't really touched on, not that there's much to say, is the Mordekaiser versus the Trundle. I think it's just gonna be standard bruiser lane.
I'm not sure who wins from the two of them though.
It's like if I were to say, I'd say Mordekaiser because Mordekaiser can be a little farther back as well as have that shield. But it depends how he plays. If the Trundle uses his pillar right and his W, you can get up close and do some damage. I guess we'll see.
I guess so.
And with that, I'm going to switch us over to some music and an intermission screen to get us past this boring old spectator delay, and I will see you guys on the other side. Alrighty. All right.
We've got some nice skins on both sides of this table here.
We definitely do. And yeah, as we said, there is a swap for the mid lane and jungle of OHVA. To be expected. I know that Cassidy has kind of been a scary pick for every team that we've seen go against OHVA this season. And they have not been afraid to ban it. And this is the first game it's gone unbanned, so not surprised to see it come out as a ban. Let's see. Standard starting positions for everyone watching those flanks for ganks. It wouldn't really be a gank, it would be an invade, it just rhymed. But nonetheless. So here we are. Game 2 of the semifinals. OHVA versus CASC. It is currently 1-0 in OHVA's favor. Still anyone's series. Let's see how this goes.
Sorry, but let's see that something's happening.
You are a bit muffled, Jackson.
Oh, I apologize.
That is alright. Seeing a leash come out from the bot lane. No leash needed, however, for the Nocturne. He's just going to take Raptors and go. Nocturne's pretty good with AoE clear. His passive allows him to get AoE auto attacks as well as healing. And I imagine he took his Q as well for that extra AoE damage. Pike immediately starting off with that Q charge, but Ashe knows what to do. Just step right behind some minions.
Other than that, just a little bit of farming.
Yep.
A little bit of shuffle.
Seeing a top lane fight here. The passive comes down for the Mordekaiser, doing a lot of damage over time. Well, I can't say damage again, that would be redundant. But Trundle's very good early brawler with his auto reset Q, doing chunks out of enemy's health. Although I think he might have started W there, which either way is still very good for him. Malphite, not Malphite. Oh, very aggressive play from the Pike there, forcing Flash out of the Ashe, but doesn't really amount to anything. Honestly, I'm not even sure if the Ashe needed to flash that, but better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely shows what kind of bot lane we're going to be seeing. Maybe I was completely wrong.
Yep, as I said, Pike is a lot more aggressive of a support than Blitz.
Oh, 100%.
Because if Pike does not get ahead early, he will fall off in the late.
Yep, very true. Well, he's going to fall off late either way, but
well,
the more ahead he is, the easier the fall from grace becomes. I'm sure you know what I mean.
Oh, yes, I do.
We're going to see an early gank coming up from the Trundle. Getting that fear off, and the pull, forced to flash. Might still die. Nocturne being over-aggressive. Well, not over-aggressive, just aggressive. And walks away. But Diana's going to walk right into him. And we're probably going to see that turn into a return kill. But still worth it overall for OHVA, that extra gold coming out. Pike being really over-aggressive again. Pulls
It's the Ashe.
The Ashe. Lux hitting both. Stopping the Ashe from being killed, however. And good thing, too. Ashe is going to take an early back as to not waste her heal. Summoner spell. Lux is going to stay in lane to mitigate the turret damage, not allowing them to get that early plate. Very important. It provides a lot of gold, especially, 5 minutes into the game.
Also, poke's always nice. And so much happening up here in the top lane. Mord passive definitely helping mitigate, or not mitigate, win him these battles though. A little bit more back and forth farming. Nothing much that's new. Almost taking down the Trundle, but not quite.
Trundle staying one. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of for Trundle.
Yep.
Good kill for the Mordekaiser there, though. 2-1 kill wise for OHVA. Pretty good start for them.
That wave pushing on that tower might get a plate there, if not two.
Yeah, it looks...
Never mind, Trundle is really fast.
Trundle is really fast, but those turrets are not very strong. If he gets that here soon, that'll be good.
Pike waiting in the bushes, ready to assault.
Oh, my
and there he
apologies.
goes. Oh. A little bit of damage going off. Lux Shield able to help mitigate it a little bit. Looks like we got another fight going on in the top lane. More poking going on in mid.
Yep, we're gonna see
Getting
a gank in
ganked
the
by
mid lane.
jungle here.
Is it enough to kill the Yasuo? It is. A bit of a close one. Diana might be able to swoop in to get another return kill.
Yep.
But still overall worth it for OHVA. Potential kill coming out. Lux backing off. Probably could have been a lot more aggressive there, but the Jinx is gonna almost die. Lux is not close
Very
to
close.
6, however, so cannot be finished off.
Will, however, force the Pike back with him, allowing for a lot more pressure in the bot lane.
Yep.
Some things going on top lane, but it's been going on most of the game now.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about in regards to what Mordekaiser does against a Trundle or against any bruiser's top lane, really.
Pike staying in the bot lane. Not really good at pushing, but I guess can help mitigate some damage from their turret.
Yeah. Anything to keep them off of turret plates.
Because a Pike under turret can get a kill. Hard, but possible.
He could. Looks like OHV is not gonna, or their bot lane isn't gonna back just yet. Oh, might see it here in a second. Or not. I don't know. But we're gonna see a back out of the Kassadin. He has no mana. He definitely needs some items. Mordekaiser healing. Lots of sustain in the top lane for him. Almost Qs for both champions. Don't think either would have surmounted to too much, though. Mordekaiser going to try to take an auto battle with Trundle. Not something I usually suggest.
Well, never mind.
It does work out,
Seems to be
though.
working.
Although that Q is not an auto. I call cheater. I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, anything you can do to get ahead, I guess.
Yep.
Oh, that is an ult from Mord.
A really aggressive ult.
ult from Trundle.
Under turret. Trundle's going to go back in, though. He was out. But it seems like... Gosh, sorry, mind blank. CASC is making a lot more mistakes than they were previously, although maybe commentators curse. Although no, they're winning that 2v1 quite efficiently, even off of a good Diana Yasuo combo.
Yeah, just Diana definitely knowing how to look for picks. Not knowing, however, what to do when there's more than one person.
Yep. CASC being maybe a little over aggressive than they should be right now, being a little dangerous and risky. Should maybe take a back seat, as they do have a Yasuo to go off of for the late game, as well as that Diana combo. It's they don't have to fear about winning the early game as much, but they do need to be careful here. They did get a dragon, so not all is lost. Well, nothing is lost, you know. It's still pretty early on, but OHV is going to trade that out for a Rift Herald in the top lane. Diana does spot it, but a little too late in order to stop it.
Yeah. Not much going on mid lane other than, your average poke battle.
Yep.
Bot lane definitely shoving with a pretty big wave. Not quite looking for a plate here. Maybe looking to back and get some items, try and get that little advantage they can.
Indeed. Going blow for blow in the mid lane. Kassadin trading onto the Yasuo, and Yasuo doing the same. Kassadin, or Mordekaiser being over aggressive here with vision too, but does not see the Diana on the map. Diana misses the ult, but Mordekaiser stops to attempt to Q, and it does just get him kill. You know, Mordekaiser's got
was 2 levels up, however, so maybe it was a little bit of overconfidence.
Oh, possibly, but they did have the warding required to see the Diana coming. However, you know, if you're not watching your map, it can be easy to miss a gank sometimes. You got to be careful of that.
Yep. That's a root on the Pike. Doesn't look like they noticed, however.
I think they noticed. I just think they couldn't do anything about it.
Maybe.
I mean, Comet did hit him, so they knew they hit something, but he was full health and wasn't worth to commit to. Would be my take on it.
This Cassidy's starting to do some work.
Yeah, Cassidy is going to scale just as much. Yes, wait. Ashe not even going to try to sidestep it. She's just going to opt to flash out of the Pike Q. We're going to see
I
a
think mid lane looks like they're going to place a Herald.
Herald
Diana
drop in the
coming
mid
down,
lane.
maybe
Diana
hit it.
coming down. It's still going to hit, though. Oh, never
Or
mind.
maybe not. I have never seen a Herald go down like that and not hit.
Yasuo being very over-aggressive here. Does get...
This situation looks
A
familiar,
kill.
however, it seems to be going in the other direction this time.
Yeah.
Yep, some more skirmishes going on in the top lane.
Yep. Even the subjugate cannot save Trundle from staying alive. That healing is not enough. And he's going to have to back off because last time he stayed, the Mordekaiser killed him. And the Mordekaiser's going to get turret plates here.
That Mord is getting way ahead. This is going to spell out possible doom for quite a bit of
Yep. I know what you mean. Nocturne going in on that Diana. She has her ult back up, but Nocturne has a lot of healing, even at that low HP, so it did not struggle taking her down. With the second Drake coming up in a minute, Diana will be up in time for it. Mordekaiser going to get the second to last turret plate. Lots of gold coming out for him. Going to get some damage on the last one. Don't think he'll be able to take it, though, even with a lot of minions. Trundle will be back quite quickly.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be close. I'd say maybe one more kill for the top lane and that's the turret gone.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I don't
Or
even
maybe
know if he
even
needs
another
to kill
kill.
him. He might just need to walk under it.
Yep.
Trundle cannot chase him out of tower range. Mordekaiser's just better off autoing the turret when he gets the chance. I mean, as you can see right there, if Trundle follows him out of range of it, Mordekaiser just destroys him.
A clever play with the ice pillar, however, in order to separate the Mord off the tower.
Yeah, it definitely helped. In the slow from it, even better.
Block landing a
Ooh,
root.
good damage.
Very close.
Ashe does have ult. I don't know if she has enough mana for it, though. She's not going to use it. Pike steps into the Lux E, and they're both very, very low. Diana is down there, though, and Ashe does not have mana to keep the Diana off of them. If the Lux hits a good Q, it's possible, but I don't think it's up. Pike misses a massive Q.
And going to be a
And
kill for
this
the
is
Ashe.
going to be a
Make that two.
huge over-aggressive play coming from CASC. This is the kind of mistakes I was talking about seeing them make this game. Last game, they, both teams made a pretty equal amount of mistakes. OHVA just capitalized off it, but this time CASC seems to be very eager to try to pull this back, and they are, making a lot of very basic mistakes here. They need to be careful and get their heads back in the game if they want to have a chance of winning this.
That is Infernal Soul, meaning whoever gets this will be able to do a lot more damage to the other.
Yep, Mordekaiser pushing pretty much uncontested here. It looks like Diana's going to be coming in. But Mordekaiser is pretty good at 2v1ing, especially with his ultimate, so it might not be too afraid of her.
And able to get some damage on the secondary tower before plates even fell.
Yep.
That is an accomplishment in and of itself.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. See Diana coming up there to stop the push, but Mordekaiser's not really halted by it. He's just gonna go through the jungle now. Spot a Diana. This is catch a Diana day here. He's gonna fight for this red buff.
Probably looking in to try and smite it. Oh, that's an ult in the bot lane.
See a fight in the bot lane. Cassidy getting back in it.
Kill.
Looks like Diana did end up getting the red buff in the top lane.
However, this Mord...
Now he's in a bad spot. He is going to ult the Diana, doing a lot of damage to her. Is he going to be able to finish her off in time? Not quite, and he's going to fall. A little over-aggressive from him. Good Q coming out
he
from...
did do well in trying to keep Diana behind and away from the rest of the team.
He did,
Not only
yes,
that,
but
it's also occupied up to 4 people. Or was that 3?
Yes, definitely stayed a little too long, though. Team not really able to get a lot of objectives across the rest of the map.
Yeah.
Kassadin in full-on damage mode. He's got his crown, and he's not afraid to use it. Pike gonna hit that Lux. Lux is definitely dead here. We see a weird Ashe ult interaction hitting the Pike rather than the Diana, and it looks like we're gonna see Ashe fall here too as well to the Pike ult. Bit of a rough string of events there for the bot lane, but we see Mordekaiser coming in, and he's pretty scary, so should be able to force them to back off and maybe even get a turret if they're not careful. They are going to trade a Rift Herald on the top lane, though, and that's very impactful. Also, it does not see them coming down. If they get the drop on him, he is going to lose their turret. Are they going to make a similar mistake as they did with Shelly last time? It's possible. Diana is here.
However, the problem is, does OHVA realize that?
They do
Yeah,
now
they
just
now
spot
do.
her. She pops the crown from the caster, and he's no longer got that massive defense. They're gonna 2v2 here. Yasuo missing the Q. Beautiful Ashe ult coming out on the Yasuo, stopping the 2v1, turning it into a 2v2, turning it into a 2v1.
That is a lot of ult going
Yasuo
on
doing
right
a lot
now.
of damage. You see
Ooh,
that Immortal Shield bow coming out.
going on to that Yasuo.
Casting in a bit of a rough spot in terms of mana consumption. Probably has a fully charged ult. A little risky there.
It looks like Mord. Oh no, Mord's backing. I apologize. Lux trying to get a root on the Pike, not quite hitting.
Seems like CASC is kind of getting their head in the game here, finding some picks, getting themselves back in this game. Especially in the bot lane. Good pull onto the Lux. Looks like she's probably going to die here. Pike is scary, but Ashe is going to tank that Jinx ult. If she's not careful, she could die, though. But she does survive. Bit of a close call. We're going to see a fight come out in the top lane.
Yep. This Mord definitely becoming more and more of a problem for...
Yeah, Mordekaiser maybe ulting a little bit too late there. He's going to get kited pretty hard by this Trundle. And out of the ult, he's going to find a Diana. Definitely a misplay on the Mordekaiser's part. Probably should have ulted Trundle before using all of his abilities. Seems like OHVA might be the ones that are getting a little risky here. I see a Rift Herald walking towards the mid lane. Tower's gonna probably drop before, or hopefully. Not quite though.
This cast is nearing level 16.
Yeah, but Shelly's gonna hit the other turret here. Never mind, Diana's on top of these Rift Heralds, but both of them are now gone. See a blue buff fight here, not in favor of OHVA as it is a 2v4. Nocturne gonna try to use his fear to scare the Diana off. She does, but he tries to kite back in. Bot lane.
Lux ult coming in from seemingly nowhere.
Yep.
Nocturne ult going in does not seem to land, however.
Kassadin able to get out of the fight with his ult, but now there's a dragon up, and it's not looking good for OHVA in terms of contesting that. Ashe hits an arrow. Kassadin goes in on it. Kassadin might be able to clean up pretty hard here, and he does.
Yep.
Never mind. OHVA brings this back just like that. Kassadin might try to ult over the wall. Pike flashes knowing that the Kassadin is nearby. And just like that, OHVA pulls it right back out of CASC's hands. Oh boy.
Looks like they're going to try and take this dragon. No one around other than Pike to contest it. Pike, I don't think can steal a dragon very easily.
Nope, not at all. Definitely going to be a dragon going on to the side of OHVA. Mordekaiser's not giving up on the top lane.
Output, this is definitely going to help.
Once again, if he's going to try to fight this Trundle, he needs to ult him at the beginning of the fight. Trundle steals your stats.
Yep.
And
then Mord steals him back.
Mordekaiser can steal him back, but he takes 2 tower shots and he misplays very heavily there. You know, so Trundle steals stats from Mordekaiser, and Mordekaiser steals stats from Trundles. The difference being Trundles lasts longer and starts earlier. Mordekaiser, in order to counter that, needs to do his much earlier as well. Not only that, but it does isolate Trundle for the maximum damage on the Q from Mordekaiser, as there are no more minions to try and walk around. yes, Trundle's quick and can get away from the ult, but there's only so far he can go.
With the Mordalt, however, it also makes a lot less room for the Mord to try and avoid the Trundle terrain.
True, but there's not really any avoiding it in fights anyway. Mordekaiser's got to go in, and you know, Pillar's gonna stop and escape. So the better play is to Mord ult at the start, or maybe very least middle of the fight. This is a risky fight for Nocturne. Trundle being a little low mana, but it is Trundle.
Mord coming in, trying to clean up.
Mord-
Trundle is almost out of mana.
Oh boy, we're seeing a lot of interesting plays from both teams here.
Yep.
Cassidy in a very good spot right now, though, so going to take a big aggressive play on the Diana, but he just makes a smart play and backs off when the Yasuo is coming back. This game is definitely a lot more closer than I thought it would be at this point. OHVA had a big lead, but it seems like that lead has kind of fallen off. Jinx going to flash. Gets hit by a beautiful Lux ult. Might see a bot lane turret go here. Diana not there to stop anything this time.
Cassidy, Mord, and Nocturne all going in on Diana and Yasuo, doing a lot of damage, but taking a lot as well.
Yep, Mordekaiser getting rid of the threat that is Diana, and that is a very good play from OHVA. Probably looking to take a mid lane turret off of that now. Getting that objective pressure back on their side of the map.
Look, we've got 4 mid. They might be asking
Maybe
to
a Baron?
or going on the Trundle.
I definitely think Baron, yep. And we're going to see a Baron. That is,
It's dangerous, that's for sure.
yes, and Kassadin not only... Kassadin does inadvertently alert them to the fact that they are doing it, though. With hitting the Scarlet Spoon. Both teams are notified when that is hit, and that is almost a steal from the Jinx. A little risky, but it does pull off, and it is a pretty good reward for them. Not only is it gold, stat buffs, but it's also super powered minions, and those make a big difference.
It's more looking ready to push.
Yeah, we're looking at farm here. We do see mostly even farms in all lanes, but OHVA is definitely ahead by a relatively small margin. Couple of waves max. Caston not afraid to 2v1 into two squishy members of their team. Ashe gonna fire off an ult trying to catch them in the mid lane, but she misses. This Baron buff, if they use it right, should allow them to get a lot of value out of lanes, but they don't really have a lot of the wave pressure needed to get those second tier turrets, and right now it's just more about denial and using the Baron empowered minions to push.
This Kassadin, 2 abilities doing half the Jinx's health, definitely proving why Kassadin should be banned.
Yep. We do see Kassadin having 3 items. He has his fully leveled up Seraph's Embrace, allowing pretty good bonus to his abilities and stats.
That ability haste in particular is going to be quite nice.
Indeed.
That's an Ashe ult going up. Does not seem to land on anybody.
See Yasuo going in for the 2v1 here. Very good for him, but Nocturne's going to come in and hit him with the Fear. Lux hitting a very good ult onto the Pike. Kassadin teleports in from across the map, and Yasuo gets punished for that. Mordekaiser also gets a turret in the mid lane, and we're probably going to see a turret in the bot lane too. Those Baron empowered minions shred turrets.
I don't know where that Nocturne came from.
He ulted in from halfway across the map. Well, it's not halfway. The ult range really isn't that large, but
Diana coming in, ulting, trying to do something, does not quite make anything happen.
it's like an inhib turret's gonna fall here too. Maybe a second one. This is a big loss for CASC.
Mord definitely doing lots of damage, not only to the minions, but also to the Jinx and tower.
Mordekaiser getting a little scared, thinking the turret's gonna kill him there. Probably would have been best to stay, but he might still get the turret anyway.
Objective bounty claimed from the blue side.
See a nice Ashe ult hit onto the Trundle. Kassadin doing a lot of damage to him, and Kassadin's not a champion you can really run away from. And with that, that's a kill, and probably another dragon off of that. OHVA is getting more and more ahead. We almost see a 10,000 gold lead from OHVA. CASC is going to have to play perfectly to bring this game back.
That Baron play, while risky, seems to have really rewarded them.
Yeah, I was a
OHVA.
little scared that they weren't getting a lot of value out of it, but when they got those kills, they got 4 turrets off of it.
Oh,
And
Jinx ult just a little late yet again.
Mordekaiser overextended here massively. He's going to have to ult someone. Not the target I would have picked to ult, but don't know if
Maybe a
it
little
matters
panic
too
in the moment.
much.
Oh,
Yeah,
yep.
probably a little panic in the moment, but not panic at the
Not going to
disco.
live much longer.
Panic in the moment. I am here to give you cheesy jokes all night. But
Just a reminder,
nonetheless,
just a reminder to anyone who just tuned in: winning this game will win OHVA a spot in the finals. Is that correct?
that is correct. We are on. We are game 2 out of a potential 3-game series, CASC versus OHVA, looking to advance on to the finals. But OHVA is currently 1-0 up on CASC, and looks like they're attempting for this 2-0 here too. Cassidin soloing the team, a terrifying champion to go against. Not wanting to deal with that Yasuo, he's going to Zhonya's, wait for his ult to come back up, and he is just going to ult right back away. Trundle going to try to 2v1 here. Maybe underestimating their bot lane a little bit.
Yeah.
He
Or maybe
pulls
not.
it out though, the healing from Subjugate.
So much healing.
A lot, but he does not be able, he is not able to finish off the Lux. Lux gonna try to take as much of that turret as she can. Surprisingly, not a bad split pusher. And gets sniped by the Jinx rocket. It is okay though. They are gonna trade that for an inhib, possibly a second inhib. Cassidin is just gonna be able to dance their way around it.
Yeah, and 2 inhibs, not looking good. 3 inhibs, definitely gonna have to turtle for a little while.
Yep. It might just be end of game here if Cassidin's able to finish off in this fight. He's gonna run away though.
Diana Yas combo.
Yep.
And with that, the buffs are gone, the bounties are gone, and that is probably... It's looking a little bit better for...
It's definitely looking better. They are down 2 inhibs though, and one wrong fight is gonna cause OHVA to just end the game.
So all it takes is a Mord to just TP in there somewhere, and then they're... Well, I guess they do have...
Mord's
their
not a
next
good split pusher.
Oh, is he not?
No, not at all. Autos are slow, don't do a lot of damage. I mean, he could do it if given time, but when you have 2 Nexus turrets, he would need Baron buffed in order to do it.
Well, on that note, Baron buff is going to be coming back up in a minute.
Yep, and we're going to see
Going in on
Cassidin
the
fighting the
Trundle
Trundle.
here.
Trundle's still very scary to fight. People really underestimate the power of Trundle.
700 gold in Trundle's pocket from that.
Yep, plus, not to mention the Subjugate. You know, stealing stats, giving him stats, and giving him healing. Pike just tanking the super minion though. Lots of damage. Keep in mind, folks, Pike does not scale with HP. He has a maximum of 1,586 HP. For comparison, Jinx's HP is higher than that.
However, all the bonus HP that Pike gets converted into AD.
Correct.
To do more damage.
Nocturne being very aggressive onto that Jinx. Luxult helping him finish it off. Gonna kill that Pike. Yasuo hitting the Mordekaiser, but he's not got a way out. Objective bounty in the bot lane, but they lose 3 people. This could be the end of the game here, especially with Cassidin up here soon and a teleport. We're probably going to be seeing the Prestige teleport coming out here soon. Diana's going to try to 1v4 and stop this, but I don't know if she can.
Cassidin trying to make sure the Trundle cannot do the same. Or maybe it's clearing the wave, I guess so. Not. Oh, never mind. Cassidin teleports in, trying to make sure that Diana does
very
not
good
get
Diana
anything
ult,
further.
but she is tanky, as the enemy team is bursting. And that's going to be game 2. 2-0 in favor of OHVA. Moving on to the finals. Congratulations to the teams involved.
Well played to
CASC.
CASC, thank you.
Yep. And correct me if I am wrong, Jackson, but I believe the finals is this Friday.
I believe so as well.
But if I am unsure. I do not know the schedule perfectly. So keep an eye and ear out on socials, everybody, for OHVA to make sure that you find the or to I don't know what I'm saying. To watch this final game, I believe it'll also
Yeah.
be streamed on the Stride Esports channel, and I'm sure we might stream it as well. So I wish you all a good night and thank you for watching. Bye bye.